Mr. Cosby. Make it end. Please make this stop. It's becoming awkward. It's becoming laughable. It's becoming extremely sad. And most importantly, it's disgusting. Can't even call you Dr. Cosby anymore on account of they took away their University of Massachusetts. That's where he got his doctorate, you know. They disassociated with him. So, yep, he's back to Mr. Mr. Cosby finally broke his silence. But he's not saying exactly what we want to hear. Did you hear about him breaking his silence over the weekend? I was looking for the words that I wanted to hear. I saw nothing. Instead of one of the New York newspapers, the Post of the News, the Post called him up, ring. Hello? He answers the phone, okay? Instead of addressing the rape allegations, Mr. Cosby scolded the media. Not just the media. Hold on. Let me say this. I only expect the black media to uphold the standards of excellence in journalism. And when you do that, you have to go in with a neutral mind. Well, I'm part of the black media, and I'll continue doing this story until you say what we need you to say. Number one. And I must say, I don't have a neutral mind. Beverly Johnson spoke out over the weekend. Now, if you know anything about Beverly, gorgeous, right? Beverly Johnson is more than just a pretty face. She's a legendary supermodel who happens to be an alum of my school, Northeastern University. She graduated from there, too. And Beverly Johnson doesn't need the attention. Everybody pauses when she walks in a room. She's still stunning. All right, she doesn't need the attention. She doesn't need the money. She doesn't need this kind of exposure. But she said, according to Beverly Johnson, back in the day, she was someplace with Cosby, and they were alone. And he had an espresso machine, a cappuccino machine. And back in the day, you know, that was a big deal. Now you walk into people's houses, they always have something fancy going on. Except for our house. I always put it away and then bring it out, and put it away and bring it out. Although we did give away that Keurig this year, and that is counter-worthy. That is counter-worthy. Anyway, so look. So he makes her the espresso, the cappuccino, and she takes one sip. And by the second sip, this is according to Beverly Johnson, this just came out like on Friday, I was sitting at the TV riveted, like, I don't believe what is going, this man's legacy is being crushed. So, look, so Beverly says, she took one sip, but before she got to the second sip, she knew she'd been drugged. This is what she's alleging. And she says, because she started modeling in the 70s and she knows what it's like to be drugged. I guess, you know, a lot of those pigs who liked models, you know, might, you know, slip them a little Mickey or something like that. And she said before she could even get her wits about her, his hands were on his waist, and she called him every kind of MF, this Cosby, every kind of MF, and then he removed his hands from her waist, and she wanted to leave, and he got upset with her and grabbed her by her left arm, and dragged her 100-pound body, she said, down the steps. And she says the rest of it's kind of foggy, but anyway, she ended up getting out of there, and she's here to share her story. I mean, not here. Although, I know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to lead you on. Come on out, Beverly. No, I didn't mean, no. Like I said, this is not a woman who needs attention. Now we have, like, what, 20-plus women, you know, who've come out. You know, you give me one, you give me three, I might be like, okay, somebody's lying. But you give me 20-plus, and Cosby, you have not said jack. Well, I must tell you, it is my duty as part of the black media to continue to rock her silence regarding Bill Cosby. Well, if you stayed up until 12:30, then you saw a Nightline. If you didn't, then I'm here to fill you in. Okay? Thank you. Because that's what I do. She believes the scandal is, you know, with the sexual assaults, is a, well, take a look at this.
Well, my initial reaction to the allegations was, someone has a vested interest in preventing Mr. Cosby's return to network television. I did talk to him towards the beginning of all of this, and his comment then was, the internet has given some anonymous people a very loud voice.
Who would have a vested interest in attacking the legacy of Bill Cosby?
That's my question, too.
Bye, Felicia. And by the way, the internet is killing her for, speaking out, and saying, conspiracy theory. Conspiracy against what? Or for what? He had a deal with NBC. He was gonna play a grandpa in some sort of sitcom. They pulled the deal after the scandal broke. They're almost, 3 more women came out yesterday. It brings it close to 30 women in, total. Including Kathy Lee, including Kathy Lee, she talked about it. This is weeks ago. Including Beverly Johnson, who doesn't lie. Now, I'm not saying anything, I'm just saying. And what are these women to gain from talking right now? I mean, they're not getting financial gain from this. Some of these women are almost 70 years old, And the scandal with Cosby has been grumbling for decades now. Yeah, we read stuff, we hear stuff, we see stuff, for decades, but apparently, allegedly, he has this, or had this Olivia Pope type guy, the fixer. And the guy has spoken out. It's an older white gentleman. He's spoken out and he said, that his job was, to fix things. But, I guess after a while, you can't fix it anymore. How do I feel about her speaking out? Shouldn't have answered the phone. Shouldn't be only because my thought is, when I get, he's responsible for her biggest role on TV, and I get the legacy of the Cosby Show and everything. Unfortunately, that legacy is gone the way of Michael Jackson. When you think of Michael Jackson, before you think of the music, you think of the boys. When you think of O.J. Simpson, before you think of, football, you think of the killing. So, unfortunately, for Cosby and the entire, Cosby Show dynasty, it all comes down to almost 30 women and Beverly Johnson. And, I think she would have been better off just being silent, I don't even know if I'd feel comfortable calling him because, when you call somebody who's in trouble like that, they appreciate your telephone call, to support, hello, Bill, it's Felicia, I'm calling to support. Next thing you know, they want you to give statements or appear, in Canada at the comedy show where he told jokes last night. They want things from you. I don't know, clap if you think she shouldn't have answered the phone. I mean, even when you want to help your friends, sometimes, there's certain kind of help that you can't give, particularly in a situation like this, and almost 30 women, Bye, Felicia. That's all. Please welcome Keisha Knight Pulliam. I know, so it's nice, right? You must understand that the show was actually taped long before this Cosby scandal broke, correct?
Absolutely.
How long ago was it taped?
It was taped the top of around March of last year.
So, but you haven't spoken to Cosby in, you said, 5 years? Mm-hmm. Why is that? Do you speak to anybody else?
It's not a thing. People, people get busy, life goes on.
Yeah.
And it's no love lost at all. It's just, we haven't spoken. So, I feel like people think, oh, the Cosby Show, because it's in reruns, because so many generations have experienced it, that we have dinner every Friday or something.
Yeah.
But we don't. The reality is the show, that was 30 years ago. So.
I would have still called him.
I mean.
Like Trump said.
But how would you you feel if someone that you worked with, it's been 5 years since you talked, and they were like, yeah, so I need a check. Can you write me a check right quick?
Yeah, it doesn't,
I don't know.
It doesn't have to be a big check, but I mean, what's $5,000 to Bill Cosby? Or, yeah.
I understand your perspective. However, I did what I felt in my heart was right.
Yeah.
And I would do it the same way.
Yeah.
That's where I...
So,
And the thing that people don't realize is that, there are a lot of other resources, and I had other checks coming, but you have to have secured funds. Like, it was a snowstorm coming up the East Coast.
Yeah.
We had like a day's turnaround. It was really crazy. So there were other people who I tapped into, and I was hoping and expecting to get more than I did, and the numbers were incorrect. I had one check by itself for $7,000.
Wow.
So I actually brought in close to almost $10,000, and I made sure to work the register because numbers. I was keeping track because I knew they would ask me how much did so-and-so make, whatever, what have you. And we had 2 people who brought in $0 for a fundraiser.
But they still sent you home, probably because you didn't use the Cosby. I mean, Donald, you're always stirring the pot. So I know probably why you got sent home. So now, in present day, that was probably one of the biggest stories of 2014, the sexual allegations, and it's not done yet. How do you feel about what's going on with him?
Honestly, that's not the man I know. The man I know has done a tremendous amount for colleges, for endowments, have given money so many people could go to school. And even what he did in the revolution he created with television. The Cosbys, we were the first family that no matter what race, religion, what have you, you saw yourself in. We saw how much more alike we were than we were different. And at the end of the day, they are allegations. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened.
Everything on the set seemed
copacetic? I don't have that story to tell of him. Okay. The man I know and love, is who I just described. The man who brought Marian Anderson to the set when I was studying her so that I could meet her in person.
So now, how do you feel about the reruns of The Cosby Show stopping your money and being pulled off the air? Because if they get pulled off, then you don't get residual checks, right?
Well, I feel that, right now, it's kind of in the heat of what's happening. And I hope that people won't allow allegations because, again, none of us were there. There are 2 sides to a story. And we are in America, and it is innocent till proven guilty in a court of law. So if they're going to bring whatever they do, if it's a horrible situation, however you slice it. But, I feel that once the dust settles, that people, recognize how much he's given to our society and with all of his work. So you can't take that away.
Yeah. Back to Celebrity Apprentice. So as you all know, Bill Cosby, who's 81, was sentenced to 3 to 10 years in state prison. He was sentenced yesterday, and this means that he has to do no less than 3 years. That's what they say, no less than 3. He's not eligible for parole or anything like that until after the 3. Well, he was also denied bail and taken into custody. Of course, his wife was not there to support him. She's his foil in all this. Camille knew stuff. And none of his kids were there, which says a whole hell of a lot. Nobody was there for him. And he expressed no remorse. And the judge says, I'm not permitted to treat him any differently based on who he is or who he was. I'm fighting with my mother because my mother feels like he's 81 years old, Wendy. For goodness sakes, he doesn't need to be going to jail. Like, Mommy, what the Methuselah are you? He raped women with thigh gappers, Ma. What are you talking about? But that comes a different generation, He's 81, my mom's 83, my dad is 87. I guess they feel a ways. He wasn't feeling a ways when he was feeling up on girls, though. So I won't be talking to her probably for the rest of the week. I can't. I will not speak to her. There's nothing to say. She's totally wrong, but from that old school wrong. Suzanne, sometimes the old school, they don't get it.
Nope, they don't get it. I got a mother like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a different age. It's definitely, there's a whole different age gap.
I can't think of the last time that I fought with my mother over something, though. But we are literally in disagreement about Bill Cosby. Anyway, he was also deemed as a sexually violent predator, mommy. And when he gets out, he's got to undergo counseling for the rest of his life. Now, first of all, what are you gonna say to the counselor if you're Bill Cosby? You sit there like, I'm not talking to you. It's a little too late. Do you have a snack? Also, that thing about being listed as a sexual offender, that's big. You know, all you have to do is Google online and see your neighborhood, and they have the orange dot on all the predators. Oh, believe me, believe me. They have the dot on, like if you want to Google where you live, whether it's in a detached house or an apartment, all you do is you get on there and then you see the orange dot. You'd be surprised how many orange dots are all over the place. Like, not you, Mr. Smith, really? Or is this a leftover dot from the people who used to own the house? See? Anyway, what a legacy, Bill Cosby. What a legacy. So Mary J. Blige and her Bill Cosby. Now here we go. He's trying to restore his image. Don't you think it's a little late for that pill? He's also trying to restore the rights to the hey, hey, hey. Reportedly, he's filed papers to renew the rights to Fat Albert and also the phrase hey, hey, hey. So anytime you use it, you owe him money. Yeah, oh yes, oh yes. Oh yes. Perhaps for more Benadryl or thigh gappers. So you would go see Bill Cosby on tour? Yes.
I love Bill Cosby, and I feel like this is okay.
Nobody can hear you. Just, I love Bill Cosby. Okay. Yeah, you don't have a microphone, sorry.
I got a mic, I could talk.
Oh, yes, okay, go. Oh, they passed you a mic, good, go.
I don't feel like his image is missing. If you know Bill, I'm not if you know Bill
What
Cosby.
do you think about Camille's role in this, his wife?
I feel bad for her.
Okay, and what about the 4 daughters? If you were his daughter, wouldn't you step up and say, Daddy, this is not the time to be touring. You need to sit
Definitely,
down.
I agree with that. I would not attend none of his shows or any of that.
Oh.
But I feel like, I don't feel like his image is messed up.
Thank you, take your mic back. Okay. But
Live from New York City, it's the Wendy Williams Show. Now, here's Wendy.
Hi. Thank you for watching. And say hello to my co-host, my studio audience. So good, so right. Ooh, okay, today, let's get started. It's time for Hot Topics. So, I love you more, I got caught up in Empire last night. Did you watch? This is like the kind of show that even if you miss episodes, you can still jump in. Because I think I missed the whole last season, but last night it felt so comfortable and so right. Lucius and Cookie and the kids and stuff. I love that show. And Taraji, congratulations on everything. I mean, she's the queen of a successful show at 48 years old. Plus, this is her fiance, you know. Yeah, that's her fiance. His name is Kelvin, and he's 35. And they're getting married. Yeah, in real life, in real life. You know what I got caught up with yesterday? So I get home from work and I'm flipping around the TV and there's like nothing on. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's The Bold and the Beautiful. I got caught up. I pull out the peanuts and the Clamato and I begin to watch, not moving around, emptying my bag, like sit and watch. So I'm invested now in The Bold and the Beautiful. I haven't watched a story in 25,000 years, but let me tell you something now. That The Bold and the Beautiful, that's some good watching. Yeah, just saying. So it's day 3, Bill Cosby is behind bars. Now you know he has to spend at least 3 of the years. Right, at least 3 to 10. They won't consider any letting out before 3 years. As well they shouldn't. You're drugging and raping? Like, are you serious? Drugging and raping and lying to us about who you really are? So he's in a brand new prison though, so you should feel proud about that. Oh, look at the lawn is beautiful. It's very clean in there. There's his particular cell. All right, this is in Pennsylvania. He's got a single cell. Look, the toilet and the sink attached. There's that hard bed. And he can write a book on that hard stool in his room. But when he socializes, he has to come right out. If you notice his neighbors, everyone else is general population. So when you rape and you're in general population, they say, you get back what you gave out. Like in jail, man, they don't like child molesters and they don't like the raper. Boing, oing, 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 oing. So here's what we know so far. The first meal he had was a chicken patty with gravy, mashed potatoes, probably from the box, so you know, no lumps, and mixed vegetables. And believe it or not, for dessert, vanilla pudding. I know. So, and they didn't plan the pudding thing. It just so happens that seems to be big in the jails. Hey, you know, Bill, when you want to keep things cold in that cell of yours, I know some people who've told me that you put them in your toilet because that's the coldest place within a cell. Like, no, you flush the toilet, you clean the toilet. But if you have extra milk or an extra pudding and stuff, look, you've got to become very resourceful when you go to prison. Like the iron makes the grilled cheese. A hot Susie eases your pains. And the toilet makes for coolness. So here he goes, calling Camille, who didn't show up. The kids didn't show up. Like, nobody showed up. So he's on the phone with Camille and told her that somebody in the prison threw a hot dog bun at him. I don't know that this is gonna go well. Yes, yeah. And he was overheard saying, grab the checkbook and hire anyone to get me out of here. So he's still in denial of who he is. How dare you? And Camille, if I were you, I'd grab the checkbook, write it for half of everything you all have. Keep the phone off the hook so that he can't call. Change my cell phone number. Get yourself a divorce lawyer and move. I'm not putting up with this. I mean, when he gets out, you know, if he gets out, say, in 3 years or 4 years, imagine the mess she's gonna have to put up with as his wife. Get out now while the getting is good. And where are the kids? It says a lot about his parenting. Where are his children? It says a lot. It says a lot. Just saying. So Bill Cosby, oh God. That sexual assault trial is now in the hands of the jury, and the defense rested their case yesterday after just, what? 6 minutes. You couldn't eat a tuna fish sandwich in 6 minutes. You know? I mean, a lot of people already feel he's guilty. Maybe it would have taken them, us, whatever, 2 minutes. But jury, you could have shown an 80-year-old man facing up to 30 years in prison just a little respect. You know, and he's done allegedly terrible things, and I am so the team girls. I'm definitely not team Bill. Nope, nope, nope. But he chose not to take the stand to defend himself. And his wife, Camille, came 3 days too late. The long-suffering wife. And in there, yes, it is about 3 pills for this one girl, because the other, I think 49, the statute of limitations is over. But, you know, and I don't know who was there to talk on his behalf, but apparently nobody. 6 minutes. You can cut an avocado, scoop it out, spread it on some toast, and have yourself some breakfast faster than that. I don't want him to go to jail, though. 80 years old, nobody needs to be going to jail. For possibly the rest of their lives. But I do think that they should make him pick, you know, his worst property. You know, because I'm sure there's a chateau, and then there's a mansion, and then he might have a manse. That's what they call a really nice house, but not quite mansion-esque, I think. Then he might have a brownstone with 5 stories, but no elevator. That'll make him suffer. He would have to make his entire life on the first floor, because who's climbing those steps? Now, years ago, when I was on the radio dishing the dirt at 98.7 KISS, I remember doing a story, and I was talking about, he was the first person I ever heard of the whole heated driveway situation. In Manhattan, New York City, he heated, you know, when you first walk out, the stoop, he heated the stoop, the steps, and then the walkway and the sidewalk in front of his house. I was like, that's rich. Right? But I think an ankle bracelet in a difficult property to navigate is in order. I don't want to see him go to jail. Long-suffering Camille, you can go back to your life. We know, well, in my mind, you're not dealing with this. The jury continues to deliberate today. Just get it over with already, man. Just get it over with. Our minds are already formed. The day we've been waiting for over a year. The day that Bill Cosby finds out whether he spends the rest of his life in prison. Oh, police. He admitted to drugging the girls. He called them thigh gappers. We called them Quaaludes back in my time. But the thigh gappers, yeah, you know, drop a little thigh gap in there and the girls get all loosey-goosey and then they do anything to you, sure. How dare him? Try to fool us being the father of our country with that Cosby show. And trying to tell young black men to pull their pants up. Why don't you pull your pants up, sir? Just saying. Hey, we have the same hair. Lady in the second row, yes, me and you, yes. Anyway, so look, so he's going to arrive at the courthouse, or he arrived just a few moments ago, so maybe we can cover it here because we're live out of New York. It's only like 5 minutes after 10. If something happens before 11, we'll let you know. But probably nothing will happen until after 3 o'clock this afternoon. Then we'll have to talk about it tomorrow. He arrived without Camille. Felicia Rashad, his biggest defender, also was not there. Oh yes, when you're down, 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 look around, round, round. Nobody's got your back but you. So, sentencing, they say, might last for 2 days. I don't believe, in other words, today and tomorrow. I don't believe this. Experts predict that he'll be sentenced somewhere between 0 and 10 years. But his stretch is really 0 to 30 years. And I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna be consistent. You need to sentence him to that studio apartment in a not so good neighborhood and make sure that he has all the amenities that prison has. The same prison toilet, you see, and you make him pay for everything. You make him pay, you see. Same prison cot, ow, my back, so what? He's 81, he knew what he was doing back in the day. He knew what he was up to. So now it's time for, I don't want to see this man go to formal prison. Half the Hot Topics was like, are you out of your mind, Wendy? I was like, no, I'm not out of my mind. I think prison with a cot and a studio apartment.
Yep. Right.
In a medium income neighborhood where he's got to pay for everything. He can't have guests, like all your visitors, just the way they treat them in prison. I just don't want to see him go to actual prison. Either way, his legacy is ruined forever. Like when I think of Bill Cosby, I think of thigh gappers. You know, trying to fool us being Dr. Huxtable. America's dad. Well, if he goes today, then they're gonna immediately cuff him. So we'll be able to see that. They're gonna cuff him and transfer him to the Montgomery County Correctional Facility, where he'll put on a Cocoa Brown uniform. Come on, you all. He has to stand at attention 4 times a day. Now, I don't know what that means, but okay. And his job in the prison will pay him 19 cents, somewhere between 19 and 42 cents an hour. Like, why are you gonna make him work? Like, really? I don't wanna see him do the mop and thing. I think that the studio apartment is a perfect idea with all kind of prison stuff going on in there, though. Jordy, what is wrong with Bill Cosby?
Well, all right. Well, first of all, let's take a step back. So as you know, over 30 women have come out and said that they've either been sexually abused by him or drugged by him. His lawyers have come out and denied it. No criminal charges have been filed, but he hasn't come out and spoken about it yet.
Right.
Except he did on Good Morning America on Friday. Everyone was super excited that finally
I didn't know anything about it because I wake up to the Fox 5 morning news here in New York.
Of course you do.
Anyway, so this was on TV?
This was on TV, so finally everyone was like, oh my God, yes, we're gonna get answers.
What'd he say?
He said a whole lot of nothing. He said a whole lot of nothing. It was like he was just throwing words at the wall and seeing what stuck. It was like a game of Mad Libs. So you have to watch the clip to really understand how crazy it is. Just, you have to watch it.
Do you think there's something wrong with him?
I don't know. I mean, he's 77 years old. He's still sharp. He's a comedian. He's still performing on stage.
Okay, well, we have a clip.
Yeah, you just gotta watch it.
Okay.
Listen to me carefully. I'm telling you where the road is out. Now, you want to go here or you want to be concerned about who's giving you the message? I have been in this business 52 years and I've never seen anything like this. And reality is the situation. And I can't speak.
Did I not tell tell you? And it didn't even end there. It didn't even end there. The interviewer asked, you know, how do you think this is all going to affect your legacy? And he said he's only focusing on tomorrow, but he has ideas that he wants to put on television about people who love each other, whatever that means. I have no idea. It just kept going on. And obviously, as you can see, he got a lot of backlash from this. People are saying maybe he shouldn't have spoken out at all, maybe he should have kept quiet, or given us an answer.
Private thoughts, not for public consumption. Private thoughts in my head.
Are from the grill.
The citrus is better than salt. I learned that a long, long time ago by a locked up man named Bill Cosby.
Okay. It's definitely an interesting place to learn about citrus.
He said that one time, though, in an interview. And I ever since then, lemon has become like the new salt.
So I made a